Hey, if you have a $2 bill, pay attention to this video because the $2 bills that we're going over in this video are selling online for a ton of money. Now, do understand that $2 bills are still being printed today. Did you know that? It's true. The US Bureau of Engraving and Printing every single month is reporting new $2 bills that are being printed. This is a good thing for you because you can go down to your local bank and buy $2 bills directly from them at a face value of $2 per bill. You have nothing to lose by buying these specific bills. Now, why is that important? We'll go over in this video. You can quite literally go to your local bank, get $2 bills, and sell them online for a lot more money. Now, I still go to my local bank and get $2 bills. I carry them around with me, and I buy things. I pay them as a tip to a waiter or waitress, or I spend them at a local store, mainly because people think they're so cool, which is true. They are very cool. However, you don't want to do what I do before you look through your $2 bills, because check this one out. For example, this $2 bill, as we notice, is a star note. I'll give you a quick summary on star notes. On every print run, depending on how large the print run is, they will allocate a small percentage to star notes. In every single print run, there are going to be errors and mistakes. A star note is called a replacement note because it replaces bills that got damaged. If you have an error on a sheet of bills, a quality control manager is the one that's supposed to point those out, destroy that sheet, and replace it with a star note sheet, just like this specific bill. Why is this one very special? Well, you just simply have to know that on brand new $2 bills like this one, star notes are typically an open star, so the stars are not solid. If you look very closely on this star note, you can see this is a solid star air. So the small little white circle that you typically see in a star is not there, it's filled in. That will turn your $2 bill into a lot more money, just like this example that sold for 180 bucks. Now just imagine you go to your local bank and pick up, 100 or 200 $2 bills, and they all are like this. You made thousands and thousands of dollars because of a small decision you made to look through these bills. Now the best part is you can go to your bank, check out some bills, and give them right back, and the money doesn't go anywhere. You still have all the money that you took out because you can just put it right back in after you're done searching through the bills. $312 for this $2 bill. Now I want to point out a very important area on the $2 bill, and that's going to be the back plate position. So the back plate position is going to be on the back bottom right hand corner of your $2 bill. Now look very closely at that location, because if you don't see anything there at all, that can mean it's very, very rare. Also, the number does not matter to you, but it does matter to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing employees. That's an internal number to see where this specific bill is located on a printing plate. Now there are times when the size of the back plate number will be different than the size of the front plate number. The front plate position is in two different locations. It's at the top left area and the bottom right area. If the sizes are very different, that means you have a mule note. Essentially, the back and the front don't go together. But on this bill, it's another small detail that you need to pay attention to. So I want you to look very, very closely at the start of the serial number. At the bottom left, it's going to start with an H454. At the top, it looks a bit different, doesn't it? Because it starts with a B454. Look at that big left black letter there. You see how it's a big letter B? If that letter does not match the first letter in the serial number, like this example where the start of the serial number is an H, that means you could have something very rare, guys. This $2 bill was able to get turned into 312 bucks. When you're looking at the back of this $2 bill that sold for 1,140 bucks, you may be questioning why it looks like it got cut off. Well, when you flip it over to the front, you can see this is a printed fold error. So during production, the back of the bill got printed first, which is normal. The front of the bill got printed like normal, which is the second print. Then between the second print and the third print, which is the overprint, the bill got folded over and printed on, which caused this printed fold over error that sold for 1,140 bucks. $1,560 for this 2009 $2 bill. So we're going through this specific bill. I want you to pay attention to the margins, which is that white border around the bill. If you notice, the margins are perfectly centered. That means the left and the right are centered, the top and the bottom are centered. Everything is near perfect. That is a big reason as to why this bill got graded at the perfect grade of 70. Do understand that as soon as you have a fold anywhere on the bill that goes into the design, you are no longer eligible for the uncirculated grade. As soon as you have a fold somewhere, that means you automatically drop down to a 58 or lower. That's why it's so important not to fold your banknotes whatsoever. Look very closely at the bottom right area of this bill. You can see the front plate number. and letter. Those don't really matter, but something that does matter is that small FW before the front plate position. That FW stands for Fort Worth, which is where this bill was produced. Do keep in mind that paper money is only produced at 2 different facilities in the United States. You've got the Fort Worth, Texas facility and the Washington, D.C. facility. I've had the opportunity to have an exclusive ground floor tour at the BEP in Washington, where I got to see the whole printing process and how everything happens there. So what do you need to look for on your bill? Does your 2009 $2 bill look like this, where the margins are perfectly centered and there's not a single fold on your bill whatsoever? If that's the case, you could have a bill that could qualify for the perfect grade of 70, allowing this one to sell for $1,560. $3,120 for this 2003 $2 bill that got graded by PMG at a 66 EPQ. I'll be very quick on this bill. You want to be paying attention to rare serial numbers. This $2 bill has a serial number that is called a descending ladder serial number. It goes from 9 consecutively all the way down to 2. If you have a consecutive descending ladder or ascending ladder serial number that grades very highly by PCGS or PMG, you're in for a treat because this example sold for $3,120. When it comes to rare serial numbers, a low serial number like this is always going to demand a premium in the marketplace. This bill sold for $6,000 because it is a low serial number 2. Serial number 2 banknotes are right behind value when it comes to serial number 1s. There is no question in my mind that a serial number 1 bill will nearly always be worth more money than a serial number 2 as long as the condition is where we need it to be. Speaking of centering, I want to show you the centering left to right on this bill. You can see the margin on the left is much smaller than the margin on the right. That is why this one got the 63 PPQ grade. If this banknote was centered perfectly like that 70 we went over before, I could nearly guarantee you that this bill would have sold for $10,000 plus. Something like that is simply out of our control. However, it is important to know that the centering can play a big factor in the value as long as there's no folds on the bill. Speaking of a serial number 1 bill, here we have the same thing except this one got very beat up. It is a very fine 30. That means the grade is much lower than we would ideally like it to be. But it's a serial number 1. Even in this low grade, it sold for $600 more than the previous note. It sold for $6,600. So if this one was in the same condition as the previous banknote of a serial number 2, it would have sold for a ton of money, guys. Keeping your bills in good condition is pivotal to its value. Last but not least, we have a bill that sold for $19,200. This is called a doubled print error. So the first print is the back, the second print is the front, and the third print is what you see here that's doubled. That is the last print. Now be very careful when buying or selling this type of error because I see it all the time where bills like this will be altered on eBay. People will try to get their money worth out of people and scam them for their hard-earned money, when in reality this is a bill that just needs to get graded by PMG or PCGS in order to really signify its full value here. $19,200. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins and paper money, we have a completely free coin and currency ebook down below. Check that out, click on that link, get your free coin and currency ebook, and we'll see you in the next video.